David Allen, 74-2, heavyweight contender.
Darren Barker, 26-2, former IBF World Middleweight Champion.
Anthony Tomlinson, current Central Area Champion, soon to be IBO Intercontinental Champion, 10-0.
Danny Rell, I am going to club on my record, dead of his finest. Down.
This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social in association with Pursue Fitness. A bit of an interesting one today. We're joined here today by Dave Allen ahead of his bout with David Price on the Dillian Whyte Whyte-Rivas undercard. We're also joined by, I don't know, Dave Allen's entourage, I guess we'd probably call it now.
Cornerman, get rid of it.
Cornerman, trainer.
Head coach, manager, advisor, and leader of the entourage. Only because I'm the eldest.
How are we doing, Dave?
Very well, thank you. All good. We're just here now. We're here now for the foreseeable till some planes going overhead till the fight. So we're just all here having a good time now. Yeah, it's nice. Only got a small team. We're a very small, well-knit team, and it's nice to all be together and enjoying this nice life at the Intercontinental. It's nice.
Seems like only yesterday you were headlining at the O2 against Lucas Brown. Stunning third round stoppage victory. Talk to me about the time that's lapsed between then and now.
Well, basically I went home for a bit, but I just kept training straight away. Darren just said, you know, have a bit of time off, but keep your weight down and just keep fit. I did that, and then, you know, went straight back into training with Darren after a couple of weeks, and you know, we just trained for the last. I think it's been a 9-week training camp, you might call it. We've just been at it. We've been busy. We've been chipping away. I just feel good. Yeah.
Now, though you had Darren in your corner for the last fight, or you trained with Darren for the last fight, I know it was very short-lived, the preparation. How different has it been going into back-to-back camps with Darren for this fight?
We obviously it's been the same, but we've been working on different things, you know, similar things. You know, we know what works, we know what don't work. Darren's done boxing years. I've been at it a long time myself. We know what works, know what don't work for myself, and in general, got myself super fit, and everything else comes with that, I believe. So. I'm really happy. Yeah, I don't really have any trepidation about Saturday because I know I'm really fit, and that's the main thing really. And then everything else we just Darren puts together the game plan. I go ahead and stick with that, and we should be victorious Saturday night, I believe.
Now you say you're in good shape. You look in wonderful condition. One thing that is cropped up to me is, are you too light? Is there a possibility of you being too light going into this fight?
At the most, I'll be 2 or 3 pounds lighter than the Brown fight. At the most, I'll just look a bit lighter. I think I'll put a bit of muscle on. I hope so. No, I'm definitely 17 stone plus. I'm a big lump. That's not a concern. The only concern I've got is if David Price hits me and it hurts. That's literally the only concern I've got. So until Saturday when he hits me, I've got none.
Well, Anthony Tomlinson in the background there. I hope that's the Jets and the bubbles, and that's not you. Talk to me about David Price as an opponent. He's somebody you spoke about a long time ago. A lot's happened since then. You told me when we spoke in New York that you believed him to be a shocked fighter.
Yeah.
Is that how you still feel?
Yeah, I believe so. Still very dangerous, and dangerous especially for the early rounds. You know, I've not achieved anything that he's achieved a lot more than I have, and maybe more than I ever will go on to achieve, you know. So I like him, I respect him, I think he's good. I know it's a challenge, a very hard challenge, because, you know, it's alright saying if you get past 3 or 4 rounds it's an easy fight, but you've got to get through a very hard 3 or 4 rounds, you'll not get hit and knocked out, then you've got to get through 3 or 4 rounds without taking too much damage. Getting through 3 or 4 rounds in any fight is hard work in front of a big crowd, so I know it's going to be an hard fight. I do stand by my comment on him being a bit short. I think he's way past his sell-by date, but he's still very dangerous early on. It'll still be a career best win thing. He can fight, you know, people say a lot of negative things about him. He doesn't take the best shot, he's this and that, but you know, when you look at the cold light of day, he's a very good fighter. He can box and he can punch, and I think they're the 2 things you don't lose. Even if you're a bit past yourself by that, you can still punch and you still got his boxing ability. So they're the dangers early on for me.
Last fight against Lucas Brown, you were headlining. By your own admission, took you a couple of rounds to get going.
Yep.
Considering that and going into this fight where David Price is so dangerous early on, are you extra mindful to make sure that doesn't happen again?
You know, Darren's going to be in the corner. Darren will be in the ear all the way up to the leading to the first bell, and I know I've got to be switched on. In my heart of heart, I think the only way David Price can beat me is if he does it in the first 2 or 3 rounds. If he catches him with a bingo shot, because we're nobody's superhuman, especially not me. So I can't afford to give any free shots away. Really and truly, I'd like to win in the first couple of rounds. I'm going to be going out to win the first couple of rounds. I've said that I'd like to win the first few rounds. I believe it's entirely possible, and it's something I'll be trying to do, because I think that's the thing in this fight early on that will keep me safe will be attack with my best form of defence, I believe, early on, and that's how I'll be approaching it. I'll be approaching it that I want to take him out in the first few rounds, put him on the back foot straight away, so he can't get lead. I don't want him coming forward, getting levers in his punch. I want to put him on the back foot straight away.
Just want to talk to you about something that's popped up, and I've seen you address it on social media, but we haven't spoken about it. 1 or 2 people saying that you've changed recently. We've seen a few comments about that on interviews that you've done. What do you make of those suggestions?
I think a man like yourself can answer that. I've never changed, I don't believe, at all. I won't say I dress better. I'd say things get sent to me free in the post and they're a bit rascal, but I wear them anyway because they're free. I've not changed at all. I'm a little bit more confident in my ability and a bit more adventurous and a bit more optimistic about where my career can go. I won't apologise for them things, but I ain't changed in any way, shape or form. And I think people that are saying I've changed are the ones that, the same people that liked me when I wasn't successful, but the same ones that liked me when I had a gambling problem, spunking all my money in and saying, oh, I can't beat him, because I've got a bit of self-belief now, a bit of confidence. I want to achieve things, I want to better myself, and I'm bettering myself. They don't seem to like it, so you know, that says more about them than me. My personal friends and family that know me know that I'm still the same. I'm not sure what you've got on me, but exactly the same. Only just striving to be better now. People say you're overlooking David Price. Not overlooking him. We have accepted the Alexander Povetkin fight today. That is accepted and would be announced Saturday night after beating David Price. That isn't overlooking. That's 365 days ago. Accepting the web fight instead of taking a retirement fight in Sunderland. That's just trying to improve my life. If that means I've changed because I want to be better, then that's fine. I'm all right with that. So. But I think you can ask any of these, or yourself, or anyone, who just say he's still the same idiot he was a year ago. I want to achieve now. I want to get something out of boxing. Most importantly, it took a lot out of me the year gone by. Probably because I took the piss as well. But I just want to start taking something out of it. I just want to make people proud. You know, I didn't really see what, you know, losing fights and not giving effect. I didn't really see the effects it had on the people, whereas I do now. So it's me carrying myself a bit of confidence, getting fit and training, and wanting to better myself. And you know, people say you want to fight Povetkin because you think you can beat Povetkin. You know what? When I beat David Price, in the case of because I want to fight Povetkin, the prize is the massive pot of money, which means my mum might not have to work anymore. You know, which means my little sister can have my house actually. Maybe I might be able to give it her. Do you know what I mean? That's what these things are. That's what this is. This isn't David looking past David Price. This is David thinking, if he can beat David Price, he can do things like that. So I'm not going to apologise for it, and I do explain myself. I do want people to like me, but really and truly, you know, I'm not really bothered. I'm not looking past anyone. I don't disrespect anyone. I don't talk bad about anyone. I give my honest opinion, and I just try my best, and I try my best for people that matter, really. And the people that don't might get offended by it, I apologise. I wish I'd rather you liked me, but if you don't, I can't really do much about it.
Now, you mentioned the Nick Webb fight, and it seems, although it was only 12 months ago, it seems like a long time ago, and a lot's happened since then. Before we kind of discuss what's happened since then, why don't you give people a bit of an insight into, I mean, I was with you that fight week.
Yeah.
Tell people what you were doing in that fight week and compare it to what you're doing now.
Well, me and you was out and about early hours of the morning. Was in Shoreditch one night trying to go out on the Thursday night. One night we was trying to find a kebab shop or something at like 2 or 3 o'clock. I was up till 5 o'clock the night before, sharing a room with you, with your feet, disgusting feet. It were a you know, a bad week, and I weren't really bothered if I won or lost that fight. And to be honest, I was scared to death going into it. And I thought, you know what, all it was, and it went really. Because I thought I can beat him, I knew I could beat him, but really it was just like, let's just get this money, put a deposit down on the house, get beat, I'll retire. But I beat him, and everything's been a bonus since. I didn't really take the Nebo fight serious. I didn't take the Bracamonte fight serious. Everything was just a bonus after that. So I just thought I shouldn't even be in boxing now. I should be. I shouldn't be. And that's another thing where people think I've changed. You know what? It's not changed. I've just realised I'm 27, and I was always at the thought that David Allen, who was brought up with nothing in a council house, should never have anything. I was thinking, I've never had hope, I don't need anything, what do I need hope for? But you know what, I would like to have nice things. I would like to give people nice things. So, I can't apologise for it. I've just started to want better for myself, really. But I would like people to like me, but I can't change.
Just to clarify, we weren't going out trying to drink or do anything untoward. We were actually going out looking for food in Shoreditch, something that you've given up on, but I sadly haven't. Before the Lucas Brown fight, you were very clear and very honest about having what you call, and what we've always referred to with you as periods on the brain. You had a bit of a spell, should we say. Has there been anything like that in the build up to this fight?
No, not on that scale. My hair's intact, as you can see. Been alright, been alright. You get a bit older, you get a bit wiser, you get a bit wiser to yourself. I think as you get older, you start to get to know yourself a bit better. Just a bit happier with myself as a man. I'm alright, I'm content with what I am. I know I'm a bit strange and a bit mad, and I'm inclined to silly things sometimes and let myself down and whatever, but I'm alright with it now. I know what I am. Keep training hard, and I can afford to make a few mistakes, more mistakes now, and yeah, so I'm just feeling a bit, I'm getting older. Like I said to David Price earlier, when I was 24 and I was calling him out, so I'm just matured a bit now. And again, if that means I've changed, I'm just a bit more mature, and I'm alright with that. Because if people like me then but don't like me now, that says more about them than me. So yeah, been alright for this fight. We've had no blips. We just trained hard. If I'm good enough, I'm good enough. If David Price is a bit too big and it's too hard, then that's the case as well. But we'll see. Saturday, not Friday. I hope. A bit mad, isn't it? Saturday.
I spoke to Darren not long ago, and he said that this was a different camp for you. I mean, you've always been, not always been known, but you've been known to be a sparring partner for Tyson Fury, for Anthony Joshua, etc., etc. Darren said that one of the big things for him going into this fight was you getting your own sparring partners and not just being there for somebody else. How does that affect your preparation?
It's been brutal sparring. I've not had anyone go past 4 rounds. The longest I've had anyone go is 4 rounds. And that was the main thing. I was fighting like a sparring partner as well. Even in bits of the Brown fight, I was a bit sparring partner. It's the first couple of rounds. But my last spar that I had before this fight, which was Friday, I shouldn't talk about sparring, but I came out first round, and you know what I mean. Like, I just came out and I'm just boxing. I'm enjoying boxing. I'm fit. I'm sharp. And the main thing that's going to surprise David Price is my speed. I think that's going to be a surprise key. And people that have watched me, I understand when they were Dave Allen's shy, Dave Allen's this, that's fine. I think over time we'll start winning all them over, because I'm alright, you know, and Darren wouldn't say it. There's no reason for Darren to say it and everyone to say it. So I don't know, yeah, I'm just going to not talk about it, and I think Saturday I'll do it again. I beat Lucas Brown with a lovely shot. Bit of credit for that. Hopefully beat David Price, bit of credit for that. And then obviously we'll go for Povetkin, hopefully, that's the plan. And why not dream like that, beat Povetkin? Because the next 6 weeks, if I do beat Price, every morning I'll be thinking about the Joshua Ruiz winner when I'm out running at 6 o'clock in the morning, thinking, oh, beat Povetkin, we get this. Ain't overlooking, it's a reason to get out of bed and fucking graft. So I'm just enjoying myself, Rob, you know, and I'm enjoying it. And I don't like people saying, oh, you're this and that because you're doing this. I'm just enjoying myself. So if I'm irritating you enjoying myself, then don't watch, because you don't need to watch me.
You mentioned earlier on kind of comments that you made about David Price when you were younger, potentially less mature than you are now.
Yeah.
Do you think he still thinks about those? I mean, Dave, I'm kind of drawn to his pre-fight press conference with Cash Ali, and we saw a side of David that we hadn't seen previously. Potentially, I don't know, I'm kind of assuming that maybe it's the position he's in his career or something similar to that. Do you think he harbours any kind of grudges over that?
I'd like to think not, because the thing is, when Saturday night's all been and gone, like, until the first bell goes and when the fight finished, I don't have any animosity towards him whatsoever. I've seen him today, everything was cordial and nice. I like him, I genuinely like him. I genuinely respect him, and I genuinely think he's a good fellow, and I genuinely don't want to cause him no harm. So I'd like to think not. I think he's a smart man. I think he's smart. I think he's clued up. I don't think he's daft. I think he probably saw me for what I was at the time, which was just a bit childish. I think he knew I was just doing what Eddie wanted me to do, which was call him out at the time, and just cause a bit of a stir and get my name out there. And that's what I did. And I think David saw it for what it was and didn't entertain me with it, and that's that. And I'd like to think he'll take me on my merit now and see me for what I am, just a bit more mature and a decent fella, and we'll have a fight Saturday and we'll be friends, and that's that. I don't need to be the man's best friend, and I'll never be the man's best friend because I don't live near enough to him and I don't drive, so it's going to be hard. But yeah, I'd like to think now and Saturday and beyond he'll respect me and he'll think I'm a decent fella, and that's that. It doesn't really have any real importance in my life, but I would like to think he thinks I'm an alright fella, yeah.
You mentioned Eddie. How's your relationship with Eddie currently? Because I know that over the course of potentially the last 6 to 8 weeks, you've said some things that potentially not Eddie, but other people have construed as maybe Eddie hasn't been happy. You've had some comments on various shows and fights. Any of that still lingering?
No, me and Eddie's never said a bad word to me in my life, really, apart from when I messed up the Leroy Thomas fight and everything. But apart from that, like the Joshua comments that I made to yourself and other channels were just my opinion on the fight. There was no personal digs at anybody there. Just my opinion on the fight. And Eddie knows what I am. Bit of a gobshite. I like to say my piece. And I think he appreciates that, and I dare say he respects it. And me and Eddie have always got on great. I'm very thankful for everything he's done, and he's never once ever said anything to me, ever, about that or anything else. And that's one thing I'd give him, he lets me be my own man. And I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't let me be my own man at times. So, but no, we got on great, and he's given me great opportunities so far. And if I continue to win, he'll continue to give me the opportunities. If I don't, he won't. Because it's a business. It's not about friendship. It's a business. So yeah, we get on really well. To be fair, as far as fighting and promoter goes, he's been good to me, and we're not best friends by any stretch of the imagination. We don't go to each other's house for tea and biscuits, but we get on good. He's been good to me, and I will always be loyal to him as well. You wouldn't see me on another UK show at any time, and that's not just because Daniel Dubois was scary the other day either, because he was scary and he was fantastic. But yeah, I just wouldn't. I've got a good relationship, I think. I'd like to think.
Let's talk about that. I was going to come on to Daniel Dubois a little bit later on. I know that was a fight that was offered to you. Was it before you fought Tony Yoka last year? Around the same time. That fight didn't happen then for one reason or another. He's now got the British title. Is that a fight that you'd entertain going forward?
I mean, it isn't. It just depends on numerous things, like I just said with the Eddie thing. If I beat David Price,
that is former middleweight champion Darren Barker, although you'd never guess it. You'd never guess it by that gut.
If you beat David Price, Povetkin's there, he's there, I can box him in 6 weeks' time, August 31st. So Daniel Dubois, while obviously it would be a huge fight and a step up, a massive step up, but the Povetkin fight is bigger, I think. And it keeps my loyalty where the line, and Dubois was exceptional the other day. I fight him, I fight anybody, I fight any man in the dog. If the money's right and the time's right and whatever. Not even the time, really. Just if the money's right, for the Brits out for loads of money. I'm not asked about who I fight. It's got to be right by everyone else and by myself. Really. But he was exceptional the other day. I thought it was fantastic. His feet. He set the pace for 4.5 rounds and he never let up. His feet in and out were exceptional. He punches very hard. And there was times when I thought he was a bit overrated and he was stiff and he was robotic and he didn't move his head. I wasn't sure if he could take a shot. And the other day he just answered all the questions for me, and I think he's going to be exceptional. I think he's a future world champion for sure.
Given how well you know Nathan, I mean, you've spoke about it there, but from the point of view of how well you know Nathan and what you've seen from Nathan, how impressive a performance was that? Because he really didn't allow Nathan into the fight.
Yeah. Nathan's a very good boxer, and Nathan's 23, Daniel's 22, or 21 and 22.
21, 22.
But Daniel's far more developed than Nathan. Nathan is not a man yet. He's got a lot of physical maturing to do. And I think Nathan won't come into his best for another 4 or 5 years because he's still a bit fleshy. He's not got that man strength. And I'm not saying Daniel has, but he's just a beast. So yeah, Nathan's a top class boxer though, you know. And the way Daniel beat him, how many heavyweights in Britain outside the elite 3 or 4 at the top would beat Nathan Gorman? Not many. So it's a great result. Yeah, there's nothing I could say negative about Daniel Saturday. Nathan, for me, like, he didn't use his jab. He was trying to left hook everything instead of jab, and you can pick faults at everything. But Daniel Dubois didn't give him a chance. Didn't even give him a look in. He was good.
What did you think to Brian Jennings versus Joe Joyce?
It's a very good win first and foremost. We give Dylan Whyte credit for fighting Rivas. Jennings was beating him hands down. Joyce, I thought Joyce won. Maybe 7 rounds to 5. 115, 113, that'd make it. I thought the scorecards were incredibly wide. Joe is what he is, like, he's a beast. If you ain't super tough and super fit, you ain't going to beat him. He'll break you down and stop you. But the other day, as good as Brian Jennings is, he isn't elite. So on that performance, and at Joe's age, you've got to think, can he beat the top dogs? I'm not sure he can. But if you ain't one of the top dogs, you ain't going to beat him because he'll just break you down. But I wasn't impressed with it, to be honest, at all. That's not me sitting here saying, well, I beat him or whatever else, but I didn't find him impressive the other day.
Joe Joyce versus Daniel Dubois. If that fight happens next,
I think Daniel Dubois will win. I think he hits too hard, he's too precise, he's too clinical. I think he'd take Joe out of there early on. And I say that because I think Daniel Dubois is a bit special. The Gorman Joyce fight we talked about, for me, if I'm looking after Nathan, I think that's suicidal, career suicide. I'm not saying that Nathan couldn't win or whatever else, but you wouldn't jump straight in after that defeat, straight in with Joyce. Joe Joyce, there's no reason why Joe Joyce at his age really just keep going and get the biggest fights possible. Manuel Char or whoever. He'll not Dubois Joyce will happen at all. I'd like to see Daniel, Joe and Nathan go the separate ways and keep winning and keep building and building, and for Nathan's case, building back up. All 3 men. You know, I don't know Daniel Dubois, I know Joe and Nathan. You know, Nathan's a good friend of mine, I like Joe. Daniel, I don't know, but I've become an overnight massive fan of him. I hope they all do really well, and they're all big fights in the future for me and everyone else in the division.
Before we talk about Dillian Whyte and Oscar Rivas, what do you make of the other heavyweight fight on the bill, Derek Chisora and Artur Szpilka?
You know, I sparred Szpilka years ago. He's alright, he's good, solid. I think Chisora will win, I think Chisora will break him down. The fight I am very excited about is Whyte Bilham Smith. I know how good Bilham Smith is. Bilham Smith is good. We was on the Great Britain assessments years ago. He didn't get on, I did. But it's not a big deal. I don't like to talk about it, Chris. But Chris is a lovely man, very smart. I like Richard as well. Richard's got the power, but so's Chris. I think Chris is very well rounded. Chris is a good fighter, but Richard's got that power. It's a fight I'm really intrigued about. I think for me that's the one that people are sleeping on. That could be a fight of the night, I think.
This card has attracted some criticism from certain sections of boxing fans. Do you see that? Are you in agreement?
Well, for me, the main event is strong. Alan Price seems to have captured the imagination, which is nice, obviously, from my point. Chisora's popular. Whyte Bilham Smith, I think it's the fight of the night. A Coley, I don't know who a Coley's boxing, not sure.
International opponents.
I think the card will do well. As Dylan Whyte's popular, me and Price are popular, Chisora is popular. So I think it will do well. Sky market very well. I think it will do well. I'm not sure, I hear rumours it's not doing well on the gate. If you don't do well on the gate, it does better on the pay-per-views, I guess. So, I don't know, it's not my area. I know what I'm getting paid. So, I hope people tune in or come and watch it, because it's better for me and all the other fighters on the show.
Dillian Whyte versus Oscar Rivas. As you mentioned, Bryant Jennings, in a lot of people's eyes, and what you've just suggested, was ahead against Oscar Rivas before Oscar Rivas stopped him in the final round. Dangerous fight for Dillian Whyte, or do you think he'll come through?
Rivas can punch. And with Jennings, for me, like Joe Joyce won the fight, but Joe Joyce is a heavy-handed, strong bastard, you know what I mean, like proper. And Jennings never looks in any danger, but Rivas banged him out, so he must be able to punch. In the 10th round he carries his power. I think it's an hard fight. And I genuinely do think it's an hard fight. I think Rivas is good. I've watched him for a long time because my second fight was Laszlo Petselli and he boxed Rivas in the fight before, so I've always kept my eye on Rivas. I think it's a good fight. I think Dillian Whyte should win. I think he's naturally a lot bigger. I think that should see him home down the stretch. And I think he'll win on points.
Now, officially for the WBC interim title, with the winner becoming mandatory for Wilder Fury 2, as and when that happens. I asked this to Dean Whyte earlier, Dillian's brother. Which fight do you think is the more difficult fight for Dillian Whyte? Wilder or Fury? Yeah.
I think they're both difficult. Fury and Wilder are two of the top 4 heavyweights in the world. I think you have to place Dillian at number 5 now. That Ruiz has come along and upset the apple cart. They're both difficult in many different ways. Who did Dean say?
He said Tyson Fury is a more difficult fight.
Yeah, well, Tyson Fury is the most awkward, biggest, horrible man to box in the world, but Deontay Wilder's got like one-punch knockout power as well, so in terms of who, if I was Dillian Whyte, who would I say would be the more winnable fight? Is that the question? Probably Deontay Wilder, probably, yeah. Deontay Wilder can be outboxed. I think I could see Dillian Whyte outboxing Deontay Wilder, yeah.
What do you make of Dillian and Tyson's carrying on recently in the press? I think it all started with, I think Dillian posted a tweet after the Tom Schwartz fight, and it's kind of rumbled on since then. You know both men very well. What do you make of their kind of back and forth?
There's done a lot of sparring in the past, spent a lot of time together. You know, with boxing, like a lot of it's posturing and whatever else, and obviously I that's what it is. I like them both. I don't think the fight, unless Tyson beats Wilder and Dillian beats Oscar Rivas and the WBC make it happen, it won't happen anyway, because Tyson's got his ESPN deal. Dillian's got Sky Sports box office on lockdown now as well, so I'm not sure really. But
if Dave Allen, Dillian Whyte and Tyson Fury were all in a toilet cubicle, who would come out first?
Is it a toilet or a toilet cubicle? One cubicle?
One cubicle.
The whole toilet?
Okay, which one would you prefer?
The toilet, because I'd let them two go at it, and I think it'd be, in a toilet cubicle would be pretty evenly matched, and I'd lock myself in a cubicle, because I'm smart as well. You've got to be smart in this game. I'd let them two go at it for half an hour, one to get the one better than the other, but while this is going off, I take a sock off, put the soap in it. You don't get no. Do you get bars of soap in there, or is it liquid?
It's more liquid these days.
Well, what I do is, I would fill it with liquid soap, the sock. I would tie the end up. I would put it in the sink, full of cold water, let it harden, clunk the winner on the head, walk out. That, see?
You're some sort of twisted toilet fighting genius.
You know what? I've had a few fights in toilets, and I'm alright. You know, you've got to be smart in there. You've got to be smart. I'm telling you, you've got to be smart. But yeah, you've got to be smart. Fighting is about brain. It's about 95% brain, 5% brawn. I've been told by Darren Barker.
Okay, well, before we go, because this is a very, very strange setting to do an interview, even by our standards.
Yeah.
It's customary on Fight Week for you to give a message to your adoring fan base. What are they called, your fan?
The Rhinoettes.
The Rhinoettes.
Is it?
I don't, well, Rhino X implores, well, what am I talking about? Suggests that it's females only. And when I know you have a lot of male fans.
The crash, the rhino crash. That's what you call the herd of rhinos, the crash, the rhino crash.
Okay, well, what message have you got for the rhino crash ahead of your bout on Saturday the 20th?
I just want to say, you know, we're still here, July 17, 2019, we're still here. Is it the 17th? It is, isn't it? Is it? Yeah. We're still here. And all the ones that are still here, still loyal to me, you know, the change David on, the ones who wears champion. I wear champion now. I get free things from JD as well. And Box Row, thank you. I've changed. You know, I want to live in an attached property. I want to buy a horse for a 0 to 55 to run it at Southall. And I want to take it over the sticks, take it to Hexham and Sedgefield and Newcastle on Bank Holiday Mondays. But you know, I want you to, all the people that are still supporting me, I thank you for it. You know, it's been a journey, and now we're nearing the end. Really, we're midway through. Saturday night is about getting the victory, and we can really push on to where we could only have dreamt of a year ago. We could only have dreamt of really 3 or 4 months ago, where we're still only dreaming of it today. And if we hit David Price, we're probably still only dreaming. But Saturday night is about keeping the dream alive. You've been with me, I've been with you. Whether you've been on the journey for a week or 6.5 years since I turned pro, which some of you have, I appreciate you. And we're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep doing it, and we're still doing it. I was doing it years ago. We're still having a laugh. We're still making people laugh. We're still making people cry. We're still doing everything we did from day one. We're enjoying it a lot more now because we're winning, and you enjoy things a lot more when you win. So, just a big thank you. I'll see whoever's there on Saturday. If you're not there, watch on TV and tweet me and Instagram me and whatever else. And we're getting there. You know, we're a few steps away from the Cleethorpes Beach Party, and we're all going to be there. It's going to be fantastic. Darren's going to be there. There's going to be all sorts going off, bouncy castles and stuff. And so yeah, you know, it all doesn't start Saturday night. This is leg 24. So thank you to everyone, apart from the ones I don't like, as usual.
Okay, well, before we go, I'd like to put out there that I put you in touch with a good writer friend of mine, Mr. David Payne, at The Boxing Writer on Twitter. If you're watching this and you would like to get a little bit more of a backstory on Mr. Dave Allen, do give that a read. Dave, you have to retweet it. Great.
Ian Haig.
I
thought I retweeted it early because I read it. It was fantastic. Thank you very much for that piece. It was brilliant.
Solid piece.
Andy Purwell style.
Okay, well, Dave Allen, thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social. Look forward to seeing you in action on Saturday night. There he goes.